I'm seriously concerned with what is going on in crypto right now. The markets continue to bleed to the downside every single day. My portfolio is worth significantly less than it was just a month ago. And maybe it's time to just cut, run, and get away from crypto. I'm also thinking that maybe this is the end of the bull market. Maybe we haven't even got a bull market. Maybe this time is different, and it's not different for a good reason. But guys, there is salvation on the horizon. There is something that could be about to turn everything around when we're feeling at our most depressed, our most angry, and our most scared. Maybe tomorrow, something is going to happen that could be the catalyst for change that is going to start to bring us from this depression and slump into something more positive. In this video, I'm going to address some of the feelings that you're probably having right now. I'm also going to address the potential for what is about to shift everything to something more positive. So hit the like button and let's find out what's going on. Now, we currently find ourselves in a little bit of a different backdrop. My arm is burning from holding the phone because I forgot the selfie stick. Who would have done that? Now, we're currently in downtown Paris. There's a crypto event happening yesterday and today at the Louvre. We're going to talk about what's been going on there. And I'm going to talk about, the wider market. Because I know you're all panicking because I'm panicking, okay? You're not alone, but don't worry. Now, at the time of making this video, Bitcoin is currently at $67,200 and continuing to look like it's going to slump further towards the downside. I understand. We're looking at the charts right now. Everyone out there posting their kind of like bearish looking charts. Things not looking so great. Let's turn around for a little bit of sunshine on the face. So what is causing this bleed towards the downside? Well, who knows, guys? Ultimately, it was apparently because of what happened with Roaring Kitty on Friday and all sorts of other, things, trials and tribulations. But let me just put your mind at ease. If you look back at the last two bull markets, there was a period when we hit all-time highs, where we saw some up and down for at least a few weeks, maybe even a few months. We're seeing something very similar right now. And while it might feel very painful because you perhaps have been maybe a little overexposed to some altcoins, you're probably still in the exact right place. Now, before I talk about the salvation that's going to come and turn us around in the market, I want you to address the feelings that you feel inside you. And I've told you this before, okay? But you represent the market. You're an individual in this crypto bull market, which means that we can relate to the Wall Street cheat sheet because the Wall Street cheat sheet talks about how retail investors, which you are and I am, feel at certain periods of time in the market. And if you right now are not feeling euphoric and happy, then don't worry. That means that we're not at the top of the market. If, however, you're feeling angry, depressed, and just downright scared, then guess what? You're probably down at the bottom of the Wall Street cheat sheet. I think that we are kind of about to press into disbelief phase once more, and that will give you a bit more of a positive feeling than perhaps what you're going through right now. Now, every time you've probably noticed Bitcoin trying to break above 70k, who steps in and crushes it back down when we're seeing serious manipulation coming in from the likes of BlackRock and others who are trying to delay the growth of the market because a longer period of time in the markets before a full-blown blow-off top means a better business for their ETFs, okay? We also have coming around the corner an Ethereum ETF. Things are looking better. So what do we do? Well, if you're feeling angry and panicked and scared right now, what can you do? Well, you may have noticed that influencers, etc., haven't really changed their tune. They're still saying pretty much the same thing. And why are they saying the same thing even though the situation has changed? Because the situation hasn't changed. We're still in a bull market. We still are about to see upside that could happen tomorrow. It could happen next week or next month. But we still will see upside at some point. Therefore, we have to continue to try and remain positive in these times and not go and panic. Because at that last moment of panic, I tell you what will happen. If you panic and the market dips a little bit harder and you go and panic sell, you're probably going to wake up at some point, next day or something else, and suddenly the market's going to have turned around. And it's happened time and time again. It happened in the last bull market, it happened in the last bull market before that, and it happened during times last year where we started to see upside and everyone was like, oh, I panic sold at the wrong time, and now then you have to panic buy in, and then this is where we all get wrecked, okay? This is one of the most dangerous things that you can do. And if you were paying attention to what pretty much everyone's been saying over the last few months, then you would have kept some USDT, some dry powder, if people like to call it, aside, so that you can buy in at times when the market bleeds towards the downside, okay? Because it's the most painful and difficult thing. You must walk in the direction of the most painful and difficult thing. During the last bear market, everyone was like, we weren't ready for the bounce. The bounce is coming, okay? We're going higher. Everyone was bullish. Right now, everyone's bearish. And what does that tell me? It means that we're in a bull market because everyone's always wrong. Now, I know that some of the altcoins that you hold are down more than others. The exact same is true for me. And that tells me even further that I was right to have a diversified portfolio. So which coins and things have been hit the hardest? Well, gaming coins. Why are gaming coins getting hit very hard right now? Well, after speaking to a bunch of different game developers, I understood this thing. Games are incredibly expensive to build. They take a long time. But a lot of people who are investing in these games are retail investors, like us. We're impatient. We don't like to take losses. So we sell. These coins tend to then dip more aggressively and quickly than other coins. And that's the same truth for new coins in the market. New coins that are launching, they tend to dip quite hard because they're bought up mainly by retailers on a bit of hype and excitement, and retailers are the first to sell off and run away when the markets go down. And this is probably where we see the best opportunity, because actually there's other areas of the market that have been performing more strongly. Real world assets have been performing very strongly during this period of time. I talked about Clearpool, I talked about Ondo, and these have been doing quite well considering how the market has been bleeding towards the downside. So what does that tell me? Well, it tells me that as the market moves lower, the best opportunity to be found is in the coins that are seeing the most pain. And if you've been holding those coins and you're feeling the pain in them, I personally, and this is not financial advice, of course, I have to fight against my urge to try and sell off and panic out of them. Because as soon as I'm feeling like that, I feel like a turnaround is near enough. And actually the best thing I can do is DCA in, no matter how hard and grim that might look. Because when these markets turn around, those coins that are already really squashed and undervalued right now are going to push much more aggressively towards the upside. I've been talking to a lot of people at these events, a lot of people significantly smarter and better connected than me. And what are they all talking about right now? They're all talking about the future of Bitcoin, which is weird, right? I'm not talking about the future of Bitcoin's price, but more talking about the future of what is being built on Bitcoin. In the last bull market, we saw the rise of the layer 2s on Ethereum. And this was really interesting because Ethereum had some shortfalls, but it since then has managed to lock up a lot of liquidity within all of these layer 2s. And that ultimately has had a hugely positive effect on the entire Ethereum ecosystem. And yet the Bitcoin ecosystem, which is so much bigger, there's so much more money locked in Bitcoin than there is in Ethereum and the whole ecosystem, that anything being built in and around the Bitcoin ecosystem could be incredibly undervalued. And that means anything based around layer 2s, anything based around ordinals, anything based around runes, this seems to be an area that we could see explosive growth, but it's not really an area that's kind of being talked about that much. And that allows me to have kind of higher conviction in some of the calls that I've made around, Bitcoin and these layer 2s and stuff built around Bitcoin. Layer 2s, layer 2 builders like BVM, trading platforms like BFi, ordinals, things like Audi, okay? Ordinals, I think, are going to see significant upside. Once people start to realize that money that's locked away in Bitcoin is going to start to flood back into that ecosystem, that's where I see some real value. But guys, I know you're not feeling like buying more crypto right now because you're depressed, you're scared, and some of you will probably have just buried your head in the sand right now and you're not watching these videos, and that's probably, to be honest, safer than kind of going and panic selling to try and buy into coins that are higher up right now, okay? There are markets that are performing slightly stronger right now, but we've seen it time and time again. As soon as the market kicks back up again, we're going to see other areas picking up, and those areas that were pumping during this kind of quiet period will start to quieten down. Okay, enough psychological analysis, right? I'm not a psychiatrist or a trained psychologist. I just read a few books and I like to chat on the subject. I think it's really important and really interesting how it affects people buying crypto and gives us a bit of a shortcut, in my opinion. But anyway, what's going on in the market? What could change everything? Well, last year, mainly the bear market was caused by the interest rates, or the hikes in interest rates. Interest rates came in because inflation was insane, and they tried to kind of curb inflation. This is very common as we move away from election cycles into new kind of low periods, and every 4 years we get a cycle. And this year is a year for the election. This is usually a very key time where you see interest rates being brought down because inflation gets brought under control. It's easier for governments to get re-elected if the economy is performing better, and this is very important. What have we seen more recently, and why is tomorrow the key day? Well, we've seen interest rates falling in various places. We saw it in the Eurozone, we've seen it in Canada, we've seen it in Denmark, and this means that the prices within those countries will start to come down. And as interest rates remain high in the US, what people will then do is they'll start to buy more of US dollars, okay? So governments around the world will start to buy more US dollars. This pushes the price of the US dollar up, which is ultimately bearish for crypto. But it's also bearish for the US economy because the US can't have really high interest rates. The rest of the world are being interest rates down. Why? Because it means that people will choose to buy exports from other countries, not the US, and this will make the US economy suffer more. And this is important because then the US is then forced to play its hand and drop interest rates because then people can buy from the US more readily. Not only that, inflation has now dropped to 0.1. Well, the consensus is 0.1, which will get announced tomorrow morning. If at 0.1, there is a reasonable chance, in my mind, that we could see a cut in interest rates. If we see an interest rate cut, which is not anticipated by the wider markets, that will send a hugely bullish rocket into the markets, okay? And we will see Bitcoin pumping to new highs. I think the amount of pain and anxiety and stress that I'm feeling on a day-to-day basis with regards to crypto, and I see people significantly experienced in crypto right now who are also panicking, working for big investment firms in crypto, who are like, oh, I don't think we're going to see another bull market. Guys, time and time again, this is a cycle, okay? It's a cyclical cycle. It runs off of M2 money supply, which we've talked about before being in a massive uptrend. It runs off of fluctuations between interest rates and inflation. Inflation's been brought down significantly. There's a very good chance that we see interest rates cut. If we don't, we'll see more downside potentially for the next few weeks. But the more tempted you are to panic and sell and run away from this, the more chance that tomorrow is the day that we bounce back from this. Now, guys, if you actually want to go and buy crypto and DCA in and bite the bullet, then obviously be my guest. The best place to do that right now, in my opinion, is to sign up for Bitunix, which is linked down below in the description. Why? Because, guys, you don't require a KYC, know your customer. You don't require a VPN. You can access this from wherever you are in the world. You can also gain access to basically every crypto that I talk about on this channel, and we'll continue to list more cryptos that I ask about. Also, by signing up through my link specifically, you'll gain a bonus up to $5,000. And as well as that, Bitunix will run competitions and giveaways where they'll basically be giving airdrops and things in those various tokens that you are buying through my link down below. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, something slightly different. Have a great time. Don't let this affect you too much, guys, okay? It's only crypto. It's only money. There's more important things in the world. But that money will come back. I'm pretty confident of that. Okay, so hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you later on this week. Bye-bye.